Hey guys, we got a weekly update. Thomas Bepko, my boy Justin DeCrosta. We've added a new town to the mix this week. It's Madison. And from now Madison to Stamford, houses are selling. The sales are increasing, but we're seeing a slight dip in contracts because of the inventory that's slowing down. So we got some good info today. Justin, what do we got? Let's hear it.
We want to touch on a recent Housing Wire article that came out this week. Prior to COVID-19, the beginning of 2020, they had hypothesized new construction was really going to flood the market this year for 2020 and increase those inventory levels. Well, guess what? It's quite down, and inventory levels now, according to NAR, through April are the lowest ever. The lowest ever. Crazy, crazy stuff here. 1.47 million homes for sale. Again, the lowest since 2015, according to NAR. So at the beginning of the year, like we said, they thought new construction was going to really flood the market. It did not because of COVID-19. And so we're experiencing those low levels of inventory for sure. Although there still is tremendous buyer interest out there, because what, TJ? Low interest rates, right? And
interest rates are down again. So, you know, that's one of the main reasons I was reading. It's funny you say about, I was reading a Lending Tree article, right? And it was saying the three main reasons right now that what people are buying. Low mortgage rates, right? Obviously, the rates are extremely low. Over the last 3 to 4 months, people have reduced their spending a lot by being quarantined, right? Or shut down.
You've been home cooking. We're not going out to eat, right?
Everybody's been home and not spending as much as we could or should have or didn't. And then they're reevaluating the space, right? So it'd be interesting to see, because they were stuck in their house. They're reevaluating what they want to do. A, you either love your place and you know it now, or B, you hate it and you're making a plan. So maybe people are in some transition and debating whether or not to stay or move. So hopefully if they decide to start moving, maybe the inventory will start picking up. So it'll be interesting to see.
It's a weird situation because you could take that. That's the A side. The flip of the other coin is there's also unemployment's been really high, even though we're coming back to restarting the economy. But it's weird, low interest rates, everything that TJ just talked about, but also maybe some high unemployment rates. But the buyer interest is really through the roof. We're seeing that throughout the market. And we need to get these inventory levels up because it is a crazy seller's market and it is super competitive, as we're going to see as we cover the numbers here. So, as usual, Branford to Stamford. Today, we add Madison. So, Madison to Stamford, and Weston for good measure. So, Madison, we didn't cover last week. So, just briefly, 31 under contracts. This week, 21, so down a little bit, but still very strong out there. Branford, 32 last week, down to 17. So as you're going to see throughout this update, we took a little step back from last week's blow up, right? Fairfield County went crazy. Even New Haven County was up pretty good, but we're going to see a little half step back this week. And the reason why is because, what's that, TJ?
We've got no inventory. The inventory is decreasing here. It's at the lowest it's been, right, since they reported. So it's we're starting to see a slowdown.
Yeah.
Until people start selling, we can't buy. If people don't sell, we can't buy.
And then
we can't do a mortgage.
We're also going to see too that the closings went up across the board too. So a lot of those under contract deals are getting closed out, and so we're kind of restarting the cycle here. This week kind of kicks that off.
If people are willing to list, it's going to move. You can see the sales are up, but as the contracts start decreasing, you see the inventory has decreased, right? So the closings will start slowing until people start listing, right? But it's true. The model proves that if you list right now, it will sell.
That's true. So continuing on down the Shoreline, East Haven, very steady, 17 last week, 16 this week. Under contracts are closed out just about the same. New Haven last week 31, this week 21, closed out about the same. West Haven last week 26, this week 18. So you're seeing it. It's taking, like I said, half step back. Milford last week 38, this week 29. their closings actually down quite a bit. So Milford maybe a little bit of a stagnant point right here. Stratford, huge week last week, 54, went crazy. And this week down to 31. Closings about the same. Here's where we see the closings pick up now. Fairfield County, Bridgeport, last week 45. This is under contract. This week 35. Half step back. Closings, meh. Fairfield, 75 under contract last week. Crazy numbers. This week still very good at 58, but the closings jumped up about 10 to 21. Norwalk, 72 last week. Again, Fairfield County went crazy last week. Hard to keep up from last week's pace. Half step back down to 51. Closings added about a double. Stamford, 83 last week. Again, crazy numbers. 63 this week, still super strong. Closings there also up. Westport, 52 last week. This week, 40. Closings up almost double there as well. Weston under contracts, really holding steady here. Last week, 13. This week, up to 19. Their closings down just a tick. So, follow the numbers, follow the route. We say it every week. It all makes sense. But again, overall theme this week, half step back, closings up in most places. We need that inventory to get this market rolling. We got the buyers out there. Trust me, I'm getting these calls every single day, and the inventory is just, it's killing us right now.
All right, so if you want a list, now might be the time. Definitely think about it. They could be still reevaluating. A lot of people are still reevaluating. New York, New Jersey just opened up, right? So, and it did pick, look, the mortgage applications, right? Let's just touch on the mortgage applications.
Yeah, please do.
To see where the trend is between, 45 and 60-day pre-approval cycle. So we've got FHA mortgage applications went from 11 to 11.5, so a little bit up. VA fell from 11.5 from 12.3. USDA increased about 0.1 it went from 0.7 to 0.8. The average 30-year fixed went down to 3.67 from 3.7, and they rated that below 510. It's the conforming loan. And then we've got the regular 30-year FHA went from 3.38 to 3.33. So the applications went down, right, in some places, but the mortgage application and the government stuff went up because of the rates went down. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. It's still a good pace. We're still up from January. I was reading an article yesterday from where we were in January right now. So it's a good sign. That people have to list stuff. We don't have inventory. We won't buy. There won't be any mortgage applications. So
it's a seller's market out there right now. Sellers, if you were thinking about it today is the time. Trust me, we work with buyers every single day. There is not enough out there to buy. They are hungry. They are motivated. And we need that inventory to come up. And
they're coming from everywhere. They're coming from everywhere. They're local buyers. They're New York buyers. They're Massachusetts buyers. They're Florida people coming up north, right? It's good. So it's interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely, TJ. As always, guys, we cover the Connecticut Shoreline. Please reach out to us. Let us know if there's a town on here that we missed that you have questions about that you would like to be covered. Anything on the mortgage side that TJ would be happy to add to our section here. And have a great weekend, guys. And we will see you again next week.
Talk to you guys soon. See you next week.